Welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, İlham. On December 30th, President İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva viewed conditions created at the Culture and Recreation Park named after Nizami Gəncəvi after a major overhaul.
The link of parks and alleys is an integral part of the policy that directly affects the social and ecological state of Baku. The commissioning of the park at the end of 2021, the year of Nizami, is especially symbolic. The area once known as Luna Park was abandoned for many years. Being a favorite resting place for residents, the park needed a major overhaul. This issue was resolved by the order of President Ilham Aliyev. The area, dating back to the late 19th century, became an official park in 1922. During the reconstruction work, historical value was preserved. The summer cinema, existing since 1938, a fortress of river stones and other constructions, is an indicator of this. The innovations are not limited to this. An artificial lake of about 6,000 square meters has been created in the park. Modern gazebos and benches of various sizes have been installed. It is safe to say that Nizami Gəncəvi Park will return its former glory with its new appearance.
The steady recovery of economic performance since the pandemic shows that Azerbaijan's economy has a solid foundation. Even if economic activity was not fully returned to the previous pace, our state at the highest level ensures the solution of priority tasks, the restoration of Karabakh.
2021 was not only a post-pandemic but also post-war period for Azerbaijan. This period, in parallel with economic recovery, was also characterized by the beginning of the process of reconstruction of Karabakh. The consequences of fluctuations in the world economy, which were particularly pronounced in 2020, were successfully offset this year. Also, the analysis of the results of the year hasn't yet been fully completed. The results can be considered on the basis of the figures and projections known. Thus, growth is observed in the non-oil industry by more than 20% and in non-oil exports by 44%. Non-oil exports will amount to $2.6 billion by the end of the year. It is worth recalling that Azerbaijan's non-oil exports in the entire history of its independence have never exceeded $1.9 billion. At the end of 2021, GDP growth is projected at 5.1%. At the same time, the World Bank predicts economic growth in our country in 2021 from 2.9 to 5%. It is expected that as a result of growth in services, agriculture, and industry, the growth of the non-oil sector in the outgoing year will amount to 7.1%. Priorities are also manifested in the distribution of state budget expenditures for both 2021 and 2022. Solving social issues, infrastructure projects, especially those related to the restoration of Karabakh, education and military spending, are considered as priority areas. This year, the process of restoration and reconstruction of Karabakh proceeded at a rapid pace based on the most advanced standards. And most importantly, Azerbaijan is restoring a territorial equal in size to Lebanon or 4 Luxembourgs on its own. Azerbaijan hasn't received and will not receive any assistance from anyone, not a penny. If we have not received anything yet, we will not receive it in the future either. We will do this work using our own resources. I'm sure that all our plans will be implemented as soon as possible, and Karabakh and its Zangezur will become one of the most beautiful places not only in Azerbaijan but in the world, said President Ilham Aliyev. Füzuli International Airport commissioned on October 26, 2021, as well as international airports of Zangilan and Lachin, the construction of which is now continuing at an accelerated pace, will create favorable conditions not only for investment but also for the development of tourism in the region, and will also increase the role of Azerbaijan in international corridors. Currently in the region, work continues on the construction of routes with a length of more than 14,000 kilometers on 15 different projects, as well as the creation of telecommunication networks and organization of communication services. The commissioning of substations in Şuşa, Füzuli, Kəlbəcər, Cəbrayıl, Zəngilan, Qubadlı, the Güləbird and Kəlbəcər 1 hydropower plants, as well as steps to prepare for the implementation of the green energy concept of the past year, will provide the region with sustainable energy. And the first project in the South Caucasus region, Smart Village, is not just an idea, but a reality. Thus, both transport corridors and other infrastructure projects will make the region attractive to local and foreign investors, providing an additional driver for the region's development.
Discussions on restoration of economic ties and opening of transport blockades in the South Caucasus are intensifying. A phone call was held between Prime Minister of Azerbaijan, Ali Asadov, and Chairman of the Government of Russia, Mikhail Mishustin. During the conversation, heads of government stressed the significance of the activity of the trilateral working group on the level of deputy prime ministers of Azerbaijan, Armenia and Russia on the opening of the transport blockade. Ali Asadov and Mikhail Mishustin discussed relevant development issues of the Russian-Azerbaijani trade and economic cooperation, including implementation of joint projects in various spheres, as well as mutual integration of activity within the framework of the Commonwealth of Independent States. At the initiative of the President of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, Mehriban Aliyeva, the New Year festivities for children in need of special care, as well as deprived of parental care from refugee and IDP families and with disabilities on the eve of World Azerbaijani Solidarity Day and the New Year were organized. Every year, on the eve of World Azerbaijani Solidarity Day and the New Year, the Heydar Aliyev Foundation brings joy to children in need of special care, creating a festive mood for them. This year was also no exception. In previous years, with the participation of the President of the Foundation, Mehriban Aliyeva, festivities were organized in the Buta Palace for children and from orphanages and boarding schools, as well as for children with disabilities. However, since the gathering of a large number of people due to the COVID-19 pandemic over the past 2 years is not in line with the quarantine regime requirements, the Foundation congratulated the children in a different ways this year. On the eve of the holiday, employees of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, having visited orphanages and boarding schools in Baku and the regions of the country, as well as social service institutions, conveyed congratulations from the President of the Foundation, Aliyeva, holiday gifts with various toys and sweets. Around the festive tables, fun activities were organized with the participation of Father Frost and favorite fairy tale characters of children. Autumn session of Milli Meclis ended. On the behalf of the Parliament, congratulatory letters on the occasion of the International Solidarity Day of Azerbaijanis in the new year were addressed to President Ilham Aliyev and First Vice President Mehriban Aliyeva. Deputies supported the proposal of the chair of Milli Meclis, Seba Gafarova. In connection with the conclusion of the autumn session of the Parliament, a yearly report was also heard. Thus, this year, 189 laws and 33 regulations were adopted. In 2021, a total 38 plenary meetings were held and amendments to 154 draft laws were adopted. At the last meeting of the autumn session of the Parliament, a draft law on media was discussed and adopted in the third reading. 510 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 1,039 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 14 people who earlier tested positive for COVID-19 died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 616,352, with 598,793 recoveries and 8,346 deaths. The number of active infections is 9,213. With new infection cases over the past day, 10,771 tests, and overall 3,853,336 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Happy holidays and see you next year.